The bike himself. I had to do all the driving. I was sitting on a tandem seat.
Yeah.
So we was going out there, and I got on the wrong side of the road. So I just switched across to get over on my side, and the thing kind of flipped a little. And I went down the road, and I looked down, and didn't see any feet.
You could have lost it.
I looked way back down the road. There he was sitting, we were waving, and he'd come back after him. So I went back and picked him up.
Yeah.
Later on, years later, I got kind of peeved at him one day.
Yeah.
I said, I made a big mistake one time. He said, what was that? I said, I should have left you sitting on that pile of dirt and come on home.
You didn't travel too fast, a mile per hour, did you, that motorbike?
Well, we could get up 35, 40 miles an hour,
Yeah.
depending on the road.
That's what I mean. The roads just wouldn't let you travel no faster.
And we went on down below Chicago, you see, below the lakes, and got ready to cross the Mississippi River, which was not too much of a river at that point. And there was a little box house there about 4 or 5 feet square. A man standing out in front of it, and he waved at us, and we just waved back and kept going. I said, what do you think that man was doing? He said, I don't know. I said, we'll go back and see. So we went back across the river again. Pulled up there and said, what was he waving at us? He said, yeah, this is a toll bridge. I said, how much is a toll? He said, 25 cents. So we gave him 25 cents, crossed it the third time.
I guess he figured he was pretty lucky to get 25 cents off of you, or you'd done been gone, wouldn't you?
But that's an unusual thing.
Yeah.
To me it was, because we weren't used to paying toll crossing the river.
Well, where did you spend the nights? At boarding houses or hotels?
Well, we stayed in a hotel in Pittsburgh,
and
then we actually went on through to Ohio the next day and night, to Oskaloosa.
Yeah.
And
the reason I asked, back then there wasn't no hotels or motels compared to what we've got now.
You had to look for a place to stay.
Sometimes a boarding house, or, well, I say hotels. I guess there were some hotels in some towns.
Well, this boy's aunt and uncle lived there in Oskaloosa. And we went in there for supper. And his aunt told us there's a carnival going over town, so if you'd like to go over there, you might enjoy it. So we hopped on the bike and went on over there. And we were going around the place, and we saw this beautiful young woman sitting up in a chair in a little booth there, telling fortunes. And you give her a quarter, and she'd tell you who you was, where you was from, all that stuff. Well, I gave her a quarter. She told us our names, told us where we come from, and how we got there.
How you reckon she ever found that out?
Nobody told her, because nobody there ever knew us from Adam. And we hadn't told anybody who we were.
Yeah.
But she read right straight to us, just like she was looking at the book. I'll never forget it.
I bet that made you feel kind of funny, didn't it?
That's a peculiar feeling.
I've heard people that had the ability, but I've never been around nobody that could tell fortunes.
There is evidently a method whereby, if we knew how to use it, to interpret people's meanings without them saying anything to us.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, and I know it happened.
Yeah.
Because she'd never seen us before, and she was blindfolded.
And she was blindfolded.
Blindfolded. So there must be some mental telepathy that can be transmitted. I'm not saying it is, but how else are you going to dismiss a thing like that? We'd never seen it before.
Did you stay in town long after that? Or
No,
did you...
we went through the thing and went on back. But that puzzled me and still puzzles me.
That's enough to puzzle about it from now on.
But she read it right to us just like she had a piece of paper and she was blindfolded.
But did you have any trouble when you left Iowa way coming back this way, weather-wise or road-wise or anything? Or?
No, we had good weather all the way. We came down to Mississippi and come across by through Tennessee and down to Asheville on the way back. Never a paved road did we hit. on the whole trip.
Well, I bet a biker this day and time, we call them motorcycle bikers, I bet that'd be a thrill to go back and run a bike back in those days.
Well,
Or did you get enough on that one trip to do you a motorbike?
it didn't bother me a bit in the world because it was a revelation to me.
Yeah.
We saw so many things and had no provocations of any kind.
Yeah.
No problems.
Yeah.
It was just a perfect trip.
Well, both of you were probably pretty well, I know you were mechanically minded
Oh,
enough
yeah.
and everything. If you'd had any problem with the bike, you could have done your
We
own
could
repair.
done work.
Well, most people back then that owned these kind of vehicles, most of them did their own
They sure
work,
did.
didn't they? There wasn't no garages like we got now.
No, they wouldn't, I never saw a garage in those days.
Blacksmith shop, and that was about it.
Blacksmith or tinker.
Yeah. Well, this airplane that you're talking about riding in the co-pilot's seat, I can well understand knowing you. You ain't about to ride back in the passenger seat when you can ride up to the
Well,
co-pilot.
he didn't have a co-pilot,
Uh-huh.
and come to find out later on, I'm not calling this any names at all,
No, don't call them names. No.
but I was more than a passenger with him,
Oh, yeah.
because I kept him out of some stuff.
Uh-huh.
He was going to do some things that I just wouldn't put up with at all.
Uh-huh.
And I come to find out, that's why Mr. Chatham sent me with him,
Uh-huh.
because he knew him.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chatham knew me.
Well, you used to ferry a lot of boats for Mr. Chatham, didn't you? Move his, or the Chatham Manufacturing Company's boats up and down the country.
No,
Or did you?
he bought a 45-foot Nova Scotian lobster boat.
Uh-huh.
Had it built according to his specification on the hull of that boat.
Yeah.
So it can sleep people below.
Yeah.
And had facilities for traveling on it.
Uh-huh.
And it was up in Canada, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And he called me up to his office one morning. He said, "Well, I want you to go bring a boat down for me." I looked at it funny. He says, "It's in Nova Scotia." I said, "Okay, tell me who it is and where it is, we'll get it."
Yeah.
He said, "We're going to let you take my father-in-law with me." He'd married again then.
Yeah.
And we got some other boy, I forgot who he was. And said, "We'll fly you up in Canada to the place to get it."
Yeah.
And it was at upper state New York, just before you get into the New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
Is where it was, where we were going to pick it up. So we flew to New York, took taxi up the river to this point, and those people brought it in there.
Uh-huh.
And they come in at night. Well, they spent the night, and the next day we loaded up and started back to North Carolina. And I had charge of the boat.
Yeah.
Did the steering and everything. We came down the Hudson River, right through New York Harbor,
Uh-huh.
out in the Atlantic Ocean,
Uh-huh.
down to Maryland, got the inland waterway, over into Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah.
And the second night we spent on a little place up there in the Chesapeake Bay. The third night I had Dew's Island, North Carolina.
You'd never seen that boat before, till you
Never
went up?
seen it, and never had been there.
Well, you could read navigational charts enough to know.
I knew enough, I had a pilot's license, and I knew enough about
Uh-huh.
navigation,
Uh-huh.
and I had a chart,
Uh-huh.
and we made it.
Now you're talking about pilot's license, like a pilot a ship, not
an
an
airplane pilot ship.
airplane.
Yeah, I had a private pilot license on an airplane.
Oh, you done learned how to fly
I've
airplanes
been
now.
flying through all over the country.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
When did you get your license?
Way back while I was at the mill, I don't remember just what year it was.
Yeah.
But Mr. Chatham bought a Grumman Mallard.
Uh-huh.
That's a twin-engine seaplane
Yeah.
or land plane.
Yeah.
And he hired a pilot.
Yeah.
Well, right offhand, he decided he didn't trust the pilot. And Mr. Chatham is one thing he never did in his whole life. He never has fired anybody.
Yeah.
He lets them make a monkey out of themselves and they'll quit.
Yeah.
So he put me with this guy.
Yeah.
And we went up there to get this trip. And he sent us into Canada. I forgot just where it was now. But we made the trip, and we came on back, and made a successful trip out of it.
Yeah.
So he sent me after the boat.
Yeah.
I had flown over the place, but I had never went on by water.
Yeah.
But we brought it right in. The strange thing was, we go down, come to Norfolk, and you go out to sea just a little bit and pick up an inland waterway and come down through the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And we got into Upper Pamlico Sound. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, night. And I saw this airplane circling around me. Well, I knew what had happened. The folks down at the island got uneasy about it, sent somebody out to look for it.
Uh-huh.
So I picked up my flashlight, and in Morse code, blinked the letters OK.
Uh-huh.
And boy, turned that airplane around on a dime and took off for Elizabeth City.
To Elizabeth City,
Yeah.
he went on back.
Yeah, and he phoned him, told me, said, I saw him, said he's okay. So about 1 o'clock, we pulled into Dew's Island.
Yeah.
But that was an experience.
Now you learned that Morse code back when you was working the radio,
Oh
wasn't you?
yeah, I used to have a ham station.
You had ham radio?
Yeah.
Okay, well, going back to a while ago.
I built it myself.
Yeah.
And used it. 4AAJ.
4AAJ.
Yeah.
That was your code.
That was the call number.
Now when did you build this thing?
Back in the 1920s,
Yeah.
early 20s.
And you built this just from reading books, I guess,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I got a book from somebody up in Massachusetts. It's the only place I ever found anybody that knew anything about it, enough to print a piece on it.
Yeah.
So I got my circuitry and got the stuff. I got a little peanut tube. And
A peanut tube.
it was a little
Well, I wouldn't know what it was.
UV 199, just about the size of an
Oh,
overgrown peanut.
I probably wouldn't know if I seen it.
But it was a single tube thing, run with, I got some old telephone batteries. There wasn't no B batteries then, you know, like we use now. High voltage little block batteries.
Yeah.
Putting up those telephone batteries together to get my voltage.
Yeah.
And set it up, and that's what happened.
Set up. How far out could you reach? I mean, all over the world, or ham radio?
No,
Wasn't nobody around
I
the
wasn't
world?
broadcasting, it was just receiver.
Oh yeah.
But I got all, right after World War I,
Uh-huh.
and all this World War radio was spark, high voltage spark.
Uh-huh.
There's no tubes.
Uh-huh.
Well, the vacuum tube came out as a result of the
Yeah.
war.
Yeah, I remember you telling me a while ago about that end, and
Yeah.
that's about that
So
time.
I got a hold of one of them.
Yeah.
And I had no idea when I got together what wavelength or anything I was on. So I could pick up these buzzers, you know, what I call buzzers, spark transmitters.
Uh-huh.
And I ran across a little squeal one night. I tuned it down, got the squeal real quiet, you know, and said, this is KDKA coming on there for the first time.
That's right. And you've been reading that Morse code all that time.
Oh yeah, I used the code.
That guy's transmitting by,
Yeah.
and you're picking up that Morse code.
Mhm.
It's all tied back together now. I've learned so much. I've been knowing you a long time, but that's so much I didn't know about you that I'm finding out.
I don't brag about it.
I know it. I know that, and that's what makes it so wonderful, Walt.
But it strained my 8th grade education, I can tell you that.
Well, you got a lot more than 8th grade. I bet it's been possible you could have went on into college, and there's no telling what kind of degrees you would have
I
had.
didn't want them.
Well, I mean, you wasn't interested in the degrees.
Well, if I was now, I wouldn't.
You were more interested in learning,
I
wasn't
wanted to learn.
Yeah.
To heck with the degrees.
you?
Because you can buy them, steal them, cheat them, or actually
But
do them.
if you don't learn them, you don't have it, do you?
You don't have it. Well, I had a yen for learning. I wanted, in other words, I started out an ignorant kid
Uh-huh.
that could read. That was the biggest thing about it.
Yeah.
But I read, and I
That's-
kept reading.
That's that old adage that people used to tell me years ago. A book can take you anywhere in the world you want to go.
Absolutely.
And it's a good learning tool, too.
But I can't, the thing that I can't understand is how children today
Uh-huh.
can go through high school and come out and can't read.
Or don't even know what county they live in.
That's right.
Their geography, they don't know. Their reading, they don't know.
I can't understand it. You gotta have a want to.
Yeah. I've wondered about this because I've been interested, well, which I'll never anywhere scratch a surface compared to you, but I've always been interested in reading, and this is something I can't understand why children are not more interested in reading. To me, I like to read because if I don't get it the first time, I can back up and read that paragraph again.
Well, I've got a recording in the house that my son made on one of my recorders after he was grown up, talking to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And he was interviewing her about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got hold of it. And she told him that I had learned my ABCs before I got old enough to go to school and was reading.
Uh-huh.
I had an inquisitive mind, I reckon. I want to know what everything was.
Yeah.
I'm still got the same kind of mind. If I see them know what it is, I want to find out what it is, what it's all about.
Well, that speaks mighty highly. In 2 more days from today, you'll be 85 years old.
Yeah. That's right.
Today is the 4th of January,
That's right.
1984.
That's right. But I tell you, we've got kids running around over this country saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, I want to do so and so. If they'd only stop and try.
Just stop and try.
Just try. Because you can learn. There's no reason why you can't learn. It's here. There's never been a time in the history of this world that there's as much information available to everybody as there is right now.
I mean, when you was a kid, it was a hard scratch just to get a book, wasn't it?
There were no newspapers.
No books to matter. Well, if you did get one, you had to really scrounge to get a book, didn't you?
That's right. The only thing we could buy in reading matter was Bloom's Almanac.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not.
And now you've got information or access about it running out your ears, hasn't it?
I've got access to the world right now. You have too.
Yeah.
And everything's in it.
There's just lacking one thing. A person's got to have that desire.
You got to have a want to.
I want to.
And if you don't, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And that's a tragic thing with as many young people we've got coming up now.
My grandson is interested in these computers, and I'll have to admit, he's lost me.
Well, I have no interest in it.
I guess that might be my problem. I'm not that interested in them, or I probably would have a desire to learn them better.
If I wanted to get one, I could get one to learn it, but I'm not interested in it. I have no place in my life for it.
Yeah, he's interested in it, and he's doing, so far, he's as young as he is, he's not broken through nothing amount to anything, but at least he's showing an interest in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of glad in a way, because the technology is coming with the computers, the way it's shaping up. So
Oh, yeah.
for his ability to be able to get a job, it looks like it's one of the best fields to get into.
And go right to it.
There's so many different jobs, technical, you name it, compared to what you had a chance at when you were coming up. There's really no excuse for any young person or any person to say, look, I don't have a chance, is it?
Well, it's one of the most, I don't know how you're going to say it, disappointing things that you can ever hope to do is to look and see what people are telling themselves they can't do today.
Yeah.
You can't do this, you can't do that. They've got the best how to do that's ever been.
Yeah.
But they can't do it and play. Smoke cigarettes.
Maybe we've got just too many easy things to not cause us to have a challenge anymore. Life is just in a way too easy to ease by, you guess
Your
it
want to is not there. Now I've got a tape that I made, or my son made several years ago. He was interviewing my mother, which was his grandmother.
Yeah.
And she was telling some of the things about me. Got me getting stuck in the mud in the bottom of the creek out there behind the house one day, and she had to pull me out.
Well, the kid got stuck in the mud?
I did.
Yes, what?
Just a kid.
Well, your feet stuck in the mud?
Yeah, a little old branch went down through there, you know, and the rain was washing mud in there, and I was out wading around that mud.
Trying to find out what was going on.
I
Wasn't
couldn't get out. So I started off with a stick in the mud.
it? Yeah. Well, might well be something, but I don't think so. Don't think so.
But I wouldn't take anything for it. If I went back over it, I don't know what I would do that I didn't do.
Mhm.
Because I have no ambition to be a top man without knowing where I got it there, how I got there.
Yeah.
That's one of the things wrong with us now. We got too many people assuming too much responsibility that don't have the knowledge to back it up.
And the people that's under them know that. And that's
Absolutely.
where it's lost the respect, isn't it?
And that's what holds them people up, is the man under them that does the work.
Never thought about it that way, but there, you got a point right
That's
there.
the way it is.
A point, because, well, come to think of it, back years ago, people that I worked for, I admired the man that knew what he was doing, a lot more. Well, I didn't have no admiration at all for a man that didn't know what he was doing, but thought he did.
Well,
And faked it, you know.
There's an old adage I heard quoted years and years ago, and it's so true. It says, "He that knows and knows that he knows is wise, follow him. And he that knows not and knows that he knows not, teach him. But he that knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool, shun him."
Shun him. Stay away from him.
It's just that three kind of people. That's it. In other words, that'll cover everybody.
Yeah.
And it's pitiful when you run up with a fellow that don't know, and don't know they don't know. Isn't that so?
Yeah. Best don't follow him down a river,
Well,
I'll
I
tell
was a
you
guy
that.
that didn't know, but I knew I wanted to know.
And I admire you for that, Walt. You don't ever want to quit learning, do you?
No,
Even at your
I hope
age
not.
right now, at 85, you don't want to quit learning.
I'm not aiming to. All down through my life, I've had to come from my horse and buggy days.
Yeah.
And I had to learn electronics. I had to learn electricity. I had to learn photography.
Yeah.
Learn aviation.
Yeah.
Navigation.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't wanted to, I would have never done it.
Right.
And I learned to fly. I had a pilot's license. I still got it.
You don't fly much anymore,
No, I
I
don't
guess.
fly anymore.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere, so why go again?
Well, try another field, I guess, there.
Flown all over the whole eastern United States and Canada
Yeah.
as co-pilot on a
Yeah.
Chatham plane. Unlicensed pilot. But Miss Chatham says, you go with the pilot.
Yeah.
He knew what he's doing.
Yeah. And he wanted somebody along he could trust real good.
I never forget one incident. He had hired a co-pilot. And he wanted to take the plane down to his place on Currituck Sound. So he told me to go with him. So we had a pilot and a co-pilot and a passenger, me. And we got down, we flew on top till we got to Elizabeth City.
Mhm.
And we came down through the overcast down to where we could see it was only about 75 feet above the ground. And we circled around Elizabeth City Airport a time or two, and finally this pilot said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do." So I'm going to get up a little bit, so we'll go straight out here towards the ocean, and then go down the coast, and we'll come back into Sound. I said, "Would you mind if I make a suggestion?" He said, "What's that?" I said, "Take me back to the airport and put me out, and then you go ahead."
Yeah.
He said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I know some sand dunes out there that are over 100 feet high, and we're flying at 75 feet. And the sand looks exactly like fog when you're in a fog."
Yeah.
So he turned around and went back.
He'd have put that thing right in a bunch of sand, wouldn't
And we went back down to the airport, and the Pasquotank River goes down along the side of the field.
Yeah.
I looked down the river. I was standing between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it was clear. I said, "Get down on the river." I said, "We'll go down the river till we get down to Currituck Sound, then we'll come back up over the Wright Memorial Bridge to Hughes Island." So he took off down the river, and sure enough, we went on down, got out over the Sound, started up, and we see the legs of the bridge, the piers.
Yeah.
But we couldn't see the bridge.
In that fog.
in that fog. So I said, now get up over that thing high enough to get over it and get back down.
Yeah.
We went on in and landed. Come in, of course he goes tearing in the house, you know, strutting around. This co-pilot come up to me and stuck out his hand. I said, what's the matter with you? He said, if you hadn't done what you did, that damn fool would have killed all of us. I said, not me. Because I wasn't going to let him.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
kind
using common sense. You were using some good old common sense.
we had to.
Yeah.
But I knew where the sand dunes were. I knew how high they were.
This pilot, hadn't he ever flown down in there in the daylight or in clear weather
I don't
or had
know.
remembered them or had forgotten?
But right shortly after that, he got fired.
Oh.
He pulled a boo-boo with Miss Chatham on board.
Yeah. And
Miss Chatham was a pilot. He knew how to fly.
now this Mr. Chatham, now what was his?
Thurman
Chatham.
Chatham.
Yeah.
But that's one time that old boy was glad somebody pulled him out of that hole.
Yeah.
He come up to me, stuck out his hand. I knew what he talked about.
Yeah.
I said, you hadn't done what you did, that damn fool would kill all of us.
I tell you, you can look back, I know, Walt, close your eyes at times and look back at life, and it's been a wonderful thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a challenge
And I mean, it's been
and a pleasure.
And a pleasure.
Pleasure. Because I had an 8th grade education.
Yeah.
Well, you know, nowadays, 8th grade education is supposed to be a ditch digger.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop there.
Well, what I mean is you enjoyed life coming
I
up
sure
through.
did.
You enjoyed each day as it come.
It was another challenge and another experience.
You've been pretty healthy in your life too, hadn't you?
Well, up till a few years ago, I was so absorbed in my work over Chatham, I neglected my health, and I finally wound up with anemic.
Mm-hmm.
But the doctor straightened that out pretty quick, and we got going.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I've ever had.
Well, you got kind of a recipe for, I guess, well, how am I going to phrase this thing? This thing of water and honey, I believe vinegar and honey?
Vinegar and honey.
Vinegar and honey.
Well, that's a fundamental thing that people ignores, and you try to tell them and they laugh at you.
Yeah.
There's only 2 kinds of things in food, and one is acid and the other is alkaline.
Uh-huh.
Well, what causes arthritis? We get to be too alkaline, and we get calcium built up in these joints.
Uh-huh.
And that calcium is in forms of little tiny grains.
Yeah.
Well, naturally, when you do it, it's going to hurt. It's cutting. Well, that's because we've eaten so much alkalis and not enough acids. So the vinegar is acetic acid.
Yeah.
And it's a natural acid.
Uh-huh.
Well, in a little bit of time, everybody I've ever had do it has gotten rid of those things in record time and forgot about it.
Yeah.
You get your body over on the acid side, which our animal nature is naturally acid.
Yeah.
Well, you're feeding all this alkali to it. Of course, you're going to be in trouble.
And this vinegar and...
Vinegar is a safe,
Yeah.
acidic material that will do the job and do it quickly.
And then honey just makes it go down good,
It's
doesn't it?
acid too, you see.
Oh, is that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, honey's acid.
And that also makes it go